Gemini, welcome to your weekly tarot reading. So let's get started and see what messages we have for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead, keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements. And if you're interested in a personal reading, have a look at the description below because I've decided to extend my promotion for the month of May for the whole summer. So if you've been interested in a reading, it's a great time to get one. All right, my friends, let's get started. Gemini, what is the current energy around Gemini for the week ahead? I saw the 10 of Swords almost flip over, and now we're seeing the 6 of Swords in reverse. So there may be an ending that you need to get distance from here, Gemini, this week, and one that you may be reluctant to do so. You know, it's very interesting. It feels like Gemini may have an ending here that they haven't completely accepted and that they're having a hard time getting distance from, even though their intuition, I think, is encouraging that. Yeah. And the obstacle here is the path ahead is unknown. And you may need to take a leap of faith. And that leap of faith is causing the obstacle in you getting distance from something that isn't serving you. Six of Swords energy can really feel like the wounded warrior that needs to get distance to heal. And that once we get that distance, we realize that we have to really be honest with ourselves about what just transpired, because that comes up in the 7 of Swords, which is next. And that ultimately, as we move through the journey, we have choices about how honest we're going to be with ourselves about what just transpired and how much of that story we're going to integrate into our sort of wisdom of understanding overall, so that we can, move on past that experience. That idea of sort of you live it, you feel it, you heal it, and then you let it go, you release it. And so seeing the Fool come up as the obstacle tells me that taking a leap of faith and trusting yourself to move on past something is challenging you this week. And let's see here. What is top of mind for Gemini? The Queen of Cups. So you're very emotional and you're very sensitive and you're very loving and forgiving and empathic and intuitive, and you have so much compassion in your heart, and you follow your heart, Gemini. You're the kind of energy here that is focused on that right now. And seeing the Queen of Cups as your conscious focus says that you want to achieve the most loving, the most forgiving, the most compassionate, and the most empathic outcome possible. That's your focus right now. And taking a leap of faith is just too unknown almost. It feels too... This is reading like the devil you know is better than what lies ahead, even though what lies ahead feels like it's going to heal you. You may be settling for the devil you know. Bottom of the deck is the Star card in reverse, which tells me there's a part of you that from the outcome of this ending has maybe lost faith in themselves a bit. And you might be feeling like you can't quite overcome what happened, or how this ending took place may have just taken your confidence and your faith in yourself down a notch or two. And you're sort of now feeling like you don't have the strength or the courage to take a leap of faith when I see that Star card in reverse there. Let's see what's driving all of this for Gemini. A new beginning. You got to get in that canoe. You got to get in that canoe here in the 6 of Swords. You've got to get in and go to this new shoreline. See, it's interesting. It's almost like there's the water, and you've got to get to this shoreline to walk through that gate. This card always reminds me of the idea of arriving on a new shoreline and discovering a new land, but that it takes a lot of courage to take this journey. It even takes courage to come up to the path, because you don't know what's on this beach. You have no idea. You've never been here before. But something is guiding you to get onto this canoe that we see here in the 6, right? In the 6 of Swords. And the thing stopping you is this idea of not feeling like you can take a leap of faith. So essentially fear, right? There's some fear here And there's this new beginning that needs to get started, and you're the main star of this new beginning. You're the main character of this story that wants to get started. But in order for it to get started, you have to leave something behind. And there's an Ace of Cups here on the bottom of the deck. So for some of you, this could be a relationship that had to come to an end, or for some of you, this could just be a new phase in your relationship that sort of is requiring you to take a bold step, and you're not feeling bold right now. Even though there's all these new beginnings, typically new beginnings come from endings, and sometimes endings leave us feeling less than bold. So very interesting, Gemini. And I just wanted to say happy birthday. It's a weird time to say that, but I just realized the sun is in Gemini right now. So happy birthday as you're going through this. And the guidance so far is to get in that canoe and start exploring the new shoreline here in the Ace of Pentacles. Be the fool again. Past energy shows us some disappointment, heartbreak, remorse, regrets, sadness, disappointments, being let down. And then, like we said, when we saw that star card on the bottom of the deck, this can sort of steal or rob our courage to start again. But you know, you've got this Five of Cups and this Six of Swords. So it's like you've got to get in the boat. You got to leave this behind and just trust that it was a redirection away from something that doesn't serve you anymore, because this ace wants to get cooking, right? So you're sort of being guided to leave that Five of Cups moment in the past, let go of that narrative, and trust that you need to heal from this experience by changing the landscape, by starting a new beginning, by leaving the thoughts behind, the limited thoughts, the limited emotions, leaving all of that in the past and sort of moving forward. But again, seeing the Magician on the bottom of the deck here in reverse tells me that again, you may not trust that you have all the tools. You may be doubting yourself. You may not feel that your energy is focused right now. You feel like your energy is dispersed, and it needs to be focused. It needs to be focused on healing and a new beginning. You know what I mean? Let's see. Upcoming energy. Seven of Pentacles. So that Seven of Pentacles is asking you to make a change. You may be looking at your situation in the upcoming future and thinking to yourself, gosh, at what cost do I stay put like this? You know, isn't that interesting? 5, 6, 7. I love when tarot does stuff like this. So in the past, we have the Five of Cups. In the current energy, we have the Six of Swords. And in the upcoming energy, we see the Seven of Pentacles. So you're moving. You're moving in a progression to make a choice about this new beginning, this taking a leap of faith, this being bold to say, I'm going to heal whatever needs healing so that I can move on. I don't want to hang on to this anymore. But you're very sensitive. Queen of Cups, right, is very sensitive. So there is some emotional situation here as well that needs healing. And I love that we're seeing Cups, Swords, Pentacles, because it tells me that there was an emotional disappointment that is leading to some healing in the mental space, in the thoughts, in the beliefs, and ultimately that will change your direction in the material world. It's a fascinating reading when you think about it, because we're talking about emotions, we're talking about the way we think, the way we narrate our story, and then the choices we make around our direction of where we invest our time, energy, and resources. And so you're really going through a big self-evaluation here. I wonder if it was prompted by your birthday. It's interesting, Gemini. Maybe you even haven't had your birthday yet. The sun is in Gemini until June 20th. So you could be working with this until then. Let's see here. How does Gemini see themselves right now? How does Gemini see themselves right now? There's the Ace of Cups. It showed up. Remember, we saw it on the bottom of the deck. So you know you're on the brink of a new emotional beginning. You feel it. I think you recognize that because it's top of mind in the conscious mind, and it's also here in how you see yourself. But we see this coming through with the King of Wands in reverse. This is your first wand in the reading, and it's the King of Wands in reverse, which is, that's Leo energy, with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So seeing those two reversals sitting there as how you see yourself, especially that King of Wands, is very informative. Because the King of Wands, generally speaking, is like ultra successful, visionary, goes for everything that feels in alignment, very confident, and very much a natural born leader, an entrepreneur, very creative, very much a timeless, natural leader who's a visionary, very successful, very confident, makes choices in alignment, doesn't hesitate. You know what I mean? Like, the King of Wands is a wonderful energy. When we see it in reverse, it sort of suggests that we need to reach for those same qualities, but having a challenge to do so. You know, that there's something within us that's guiding us to be bold and be a visionary and take a chance, take a leap of faith, trusting yourself all the way. And yet, you know, that Four of Pentacles tells us that that's not how you're feeling right now, that you might be feeling that you have, you know, you're not sure what to let go of and what to hang on to. When you see the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it can sort of suggest that we have this scarcity mindset as opposed to an abundant mindset, where we're focused more on what's missing in our life instead of what we have. And seeing the Ace of Cups tells me that there is this need to refresh and revitalize and renew ourselves through new connections, new friendships, new ideas, new emotions, awakening the heart, and sort of allowing yourself to open your heart again. And that might be the new beginning. You know, you may need to really start something new here, because things around you are stagnating, and it's sort of bringing your energy to a standstill where you feel like you don't want to stay where you are, but you're not feeling bold enough to take a step into a new beginning. And, you know, it may even be that you're not feeling bold enough to plant a seed towards the new beginning. When I look at that Seven of Pentacles in the future, it's like you've got these seeds in your pocket and you're not even sure if you should use them, because once you use them, that's it. In your mind, you're thinking, well, if I put them in the ground and they don't grow, then I don't have them anymore. And then I don't have my seeds, and I don't have the past, and I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like right now is a time where you need to slow down and almost have an honest conversation with yourself about where you're holding yourself back with your own narrative. Where is your own narrative around what's going on around you, holding you back from being bold towards a new beginning that could lead to so much new potential and expansion? So where are you hanging on to something that you need to let go? Do you know what I mean? It's a very interesting question to pose to yourself. Let's have a look here and see how others are seeing Gemini right now. How is Gemini coming across to others? Okay, so your outward expression appears to be that, you know, you're very focused on being resourceful and self-reliant at this time. So I don't think that you're talking to a lot of people about how you feel, but ultimately you feel really dissatisfied and unfulfilled, and that it's almost like you feel like your desires are going unmet and that you won't reach this sort of point of fulfillment. But what I see here is that that other people may recognize that you won't feel fulfillment if you continually insist on doing everything by yourself. So there is a part of you almost here that is showing up as needing to ask for help, or needing to ask for support or guidance, you know, or needing to really, like I said, be honest with yourself about where you feel these moments where you're very unfulfilled in your current path and that you need to let go. There's almost like a lack of harmony right now, because it feels like you're trying to make something work that doesn't work for you on a very fundamental, natural level of who you are. And it could be that you're struggling in relationships, or that you have unrealistic expectations of relationships, or that maybe you don't even feel worthy of the kind of relationship that you desire. You could be experiencing some delays or lack of satisfaction when it comes to things, and you may be looking at things and thinking, well, how come it's working out for them and it's not working out for me, and then feeling really bad about that. And it's interesting. It's so interesting, because looking at the reading, it's so clear that it's just, you need to restart some stuff. Some things need a new beginning, and it's like, it's time. And seeing the Empress here on the bottom of the deck, seeing the Queen of Pentacles here, tells me that you do have all of the skills, abilities, and tools you need to make these new beginnings. It's just a resistance within that's holding you back. It's a resistance within. Now, what are the hopes and fears here for Gemini? Look at that. The hopes and fears, we're seeing the Star card and the High Priestess in reverse, which tells me that your hopes are wrapped up in that you want your dreams to come true. You want to be the phoenix rising from the ashes that creates the life that you desire. But your fear here has to do, I think, with not tuning into your inner self. With that High Priestess in reverse, that tells me that you're not trusting the guidance of yourself. And that's really key, that as much guidance as you can receive from others, there's nothing that replaces that inner wisdom. And it's almost like you're needing to tap into that. Look at, on the bottom of the deck, we see the Hermit, as I say, inner wisdom, and it's also in reverse. So you may be isolating yourself from others, and you may be convincing yourself, oh, well, I'm doing some self-reflection, but all you're doing is hiding. All you're doing is hiding. You're not stepping into this new pathway, and you're being guided to very strongly here, Gemini. Very strongly. Needing to let go of something holding you back from these new beginnings that are very much full of potential. And I feel like your inner self is even trying to guide you. And that isn't resonating with you either. It's almost like you're turning a deaf ear to it, and it feels like there's a strong resistance that needs to be overcome here. Let's see here. What is the potential outcome for Gemini? Okay, Gemini, look at this. We're seeing the Hermit, or not the Hermit, sorry, the Hierophant and the Magician, both in reverse for your final outcome. So again, we're seeing this idea of not feeling like your energy is focused on any one thing in specific. We're seeing the message that you may need to leave outdated systems in the past. Leave these outdated beliefs, outdated concepts. There's perceptions that need renewal around you, and you're narrating this story when I see the Magician, but you're not focused on it. You're scattered. Your energy is scattered. I feel like you need to rebalance yourself somehow, and that'll be a different method for everyone listening. The rebalancing is going to come in for you, I think, through your inner self will guide you. And so you've just got to be paying attention, seeing the moon on the bottom of the deck. And like the 10 of Swords that I said I saw when I was shuffling is right there, right behind the moon. So I feel like a big ending was necessary here. Something had to almost take you down to rock bottom so that you could look at your life from a different perspective, so that you could look up. Because you may have been looking down this whole time, but now you've hit rock bottom. There's no more down. Your only choice is to look up. And the only direction left is up. And so you must focus your energy and be ready to leave a lot of outdated, limited beliefs about yourself and about how bold and confident you are, to leave those in the past, leave them, and get in that canoe and move towards the new shoreline that we saw in that Ace of Pentacles. What an interesting reading. Let's pull an oracle card to close this for Gemini. What is the highest guidance for Gemini at this time? Unfinished Symphony in reverse. That is such an interesting card for you to pull in this reading, because it shows me that there is something that really does, that confirms it, that something needs to be finished. and it needs to happen to serve you into this new beginning. And don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just tie up any loose ends, and don't quit on yourself. You know what I mean? This is a card, when it shows up in the reverse, it sort of says that something is casting a shadow over your life, something that needs to be finished, something that needs to come into closure is casting a shadow on your life. It's reminding you that procrastination on this is definitely a form of self-sabotage, and that it's in your best interest right now to not stall. To move forward is what you need to do, and to realize what's holding you back so that you can overcome that and move on. This is very, very clear guidance, and this oracle card is sort of summing up this whole reading in 2 seconds. It's time. Spirit wants you to win, and there's new opportunities and endings trying to guide you right now, and it's like you've just got to tie up the loose ends, get in that canoe, and start exploring this new land of this Ace of Pentacles. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. You are on a transformative process right now. I know you can't see ahead of you, your own hand right now, because you're literally stumbling around in the dark, and the moonlight is guiding you. But that moonlight is a symbol and a metaphor for your higher self. Go on the journey, Gemini. It's going to be worth it. Okay, I will leave it at that for now. Thank you so much. I'm sending you so much love and encouragement, my friends, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care.